Welcome back to the Thrive360 Podcast. My name is Mitch McKinney, founder of Thrive360 Ministries, a ministry that is dedicated and focused on helping people lead healthy and finish well. We are continuing the conversation today about leader health. Before we jump into the episode, I want to encourage you to please like and subscribe to this channel via YouTube or whatever platform you're tuning in with. It would be super helpful to us and the work that we're doing. This episode, we are joined by our good friend. You're back once again. Monte, thank you. Awesome. Thank you for being here. Let's just jump right in. You know, we've talked a lot about drift, and there are different ways that we drift, you know, and it's not just, when we talk about drift, we're not just talking about those decisions that make the headlines,
right?
Which it seems like there's more of those than we should have. And then there are the leaders that fall from moral failure. We're going to definitely double click on that at some point. But what's another way people drift into unhealth and bad places?
Yeah, I think you're talking about the B word.
Yes. Yes.
Burnout.
Yes.
And you know, the thing is we don't burn out overnight.
No.
We talk about how drift doesn't happen immediately. It's something that happens slowly over time. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what's going on with burnout. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit at a time. It's the compounding effect and the neglect that comes and from this overachieving, from whatever those sources we've talked about before. Yep. But unchecked, it leads to burnout.
We've talked a little bit about my story into burnout, and it was work. Mm-hmm. And eventually those incremental deficits led to this big crash.
Yeah.
But I know you've experienced that as well.
Yeah. So one of you talk about not getting there overnight, and you know, one of the things that was a problem for me early on was a lack of sleep. Mm-hmm. You know, as a young man, I could go on 3-4 hours of sleep, and I would wake up in the morning, be sharp, ready to go, and I somehow started to believe that God made me differently.
Right.
I just need 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Right. But you start to stack that up over a couple of decades, and it takes its toll. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, I can't hide from the effect that has on my heart. I can't hide from the impact that has on my health. Yeah. And next thing you know, I can't say suddenly I've got a cardiologist in my life, but suddenly I realized I needed a cardiologist in my life.
Yeah. So there's different ways that we get there. But why is it that we either don't notice it, or why do we allow ourselves to get to that point? Because we're feeling it, right? But yet we push through, and we push through and push through. We don't ever take the warning signs. If you're looking at your car, you're like, hey, it's probably time to pull over and get the oil changed or whatever. We just keep redlining until eventually we crash.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm unique in thinking that I was built differently in that way, because I had success with it. Mm-hmm. So the success becomes evidence that I could do this. Yeah. And it further kind of dulls our senses to what's going on. And you've heard this before, but you know, when I think about what happened to me when I just flat burned myself out, it was because I was so dull to what was happening with my body. Mm-hmm. You know, we were deeply involved in some ministry overseas, and you know, you go to some of these countries, and all of a sudden, you get a bug, and you come back. And I've been going for years, and never come back sick. Never got sick while I was there. And then one year, again, this is that magical, like out of nowhere, I come back and I think, man, I think I got it this time. Yeah. And I tried to wait it out, and it just wasn't getting better. Mm. So I go to see the doctor, and he says, "Oh, this isn't a bug. You didn't catch anything. Yeah. You're just fatigued." And I was like, "I beg your pardon? Like, that's not a word that goes with me."
Right.
And he says, no, you are so depleted and so worn out that what you're experiencing is just your body's inability to recover. Wow. And he says, "I'm going to need you to go on bed rest for 2 weeks." And I'm thinking,
what in the world are you talking about?
Like, that's not who I am. That's not how I roll. And, so he proceeds to say, not only do I want you on bed rest, well, first I convinced him that I could work from home.
Right.
Because
that's
like,
the same as bed rest.
Well, it's, it's not like I'm running around carrying stuff at work. I can use my mind, and I can make some phone calls and handle some emails, and I'll be all right. So I did manage to convince him to let me do a little bit of work from home.
Right.
But then he's like, here's the thing. Not just do I want you resting, but I want you to change your diet for a couple of weeks till we get this in order. And he puts me on like warm broth and like, I think it was like toast or something like that. He said, no meat. I'm like, no meat. He says, yeah, you know how much energy it takes for your body to digest meat? You cannot spend that much energy until we get you restored. That's how depleted you are. Wow. You want to know how dumb I was? I'm like, okay, how about I start this on Wednesday? I got a hockey game tonight, and I'd really like to, like, that's life-giving to me. I'd really like to make sure.
I think I'm figuring out the rhyme and reason as to why you got into that place.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yet when you're in it and you've been able to do it before,
yeah,
you feel like you just talk yourself into, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I just need a little bit of rest. I just need some time. But I don't just need time. It's going to take time, but I need more than time to get a solution to the problem.
You hit on something I think that leaders definitely struggle with, which is if we apply a certain work ethic or system or whatever that leads to success, we can deceive ourselves to think like that's some kind of secret sauce as to, well, if it got me here, why would I change it?
Right. Yeah. And don't even add to it. I mean, we add this to it too. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Yes, we do.
So he's called me to this work. Of course, I'm going to have the energy I need.
Yeah.
And I somehow keep writing these checks that my body can't cash.
Yeah. For me, when I went through that season of burnout, my doctor was telling me how, my body was adjusting to my adrenaline. So I would feel stressed, but then my body would even out and I would feel stressed and my body would be even out. He goes, yeah, your body can do that up to a point, but it gets to a point where there's going to be a tipping point, and then your body is not going to come down incrementally. It's going to crash all the way to the floor. And it sounds like that's definitely what happened with me and definitely happened with you.
For sure.
So you did the bed rest and you didn't eat meat. What about the sleep stuff? How did you?
It's interesting because I actually just, I don't know if it's, I hate to say I had the wisdom, but I had the foresight to recognize that if I just go to bed, when I go to bed and set my alarm for when I want to get up, then I'm letting sleep happen to me. It's kind of, I get what I get. And so I realized that the fact that I could run on 3 or 4 hours for a long time, and truthfully still could. I could still make it through the day and be just fine. But that compounding effect was catching up with me. And so I realized no, I need to make a commitment. I need to take some responsibility and make a commitment to get more sleep. And so I quit using an alarm clock. And I started using the kitchen timer because I had to decide how much am I going to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
And so I set that timer. And if I knew I needed to be up at a certain time, I had to start thinking about when am I going to bed.
Yep.
And it became about the quality and quantity of rest that I was getting. But it took that intentionality and it changed my posture. And I really started to think about it even beyond that at the level of, instead of sleep being the last thing I did at the end of the day, I just kind of started thinking about it differently.
Shift. Yeah.
I'm going to start my day with sleep. And my bedtime prayer changed. It wasn't thanking God for everything that just happened. It was more God, I want to be at my best tomorrow.
Yeah.
I want to take care of this body that you've given me. I want to live out this calling that you placed on my life. And to do that, I'm going to start with sleeping well tonight.
Yeah.
And that became kind of the beginning of what was going to be instead of an afterthought of the day that just ended.
Yeah. I think we probably should have an episode just dedicated to the importance of sleep and rest, deal. Right? Because it seems like more and more with screen time and all the distractions that we have going on, it's not just how much we're sleeping, but the quality of sleep is deteriorating. And you want to talk about something that compounds over time, that lack of sleep.
Yep.
Like you just can't make it up by sleeping in one day. Eventually it's going to take a toll on your body that's going to probably put you on the bench for way longer than you could have ever imagined.
I definitely don't want to steal the thunder from another episode, but there's so many layers to that we can talk about. And it's a big deal.
So let's just say that hypothetically right now, there's a leader listening, tuning in, watching this, and they feel like, man, I don't know if I've tipped over, but I'm redlining. I think I'm redlining. I'm hitting my limit Like, what would you say to a leader that's in that place right now?
Man, I would say trust your instincts, but don't trust your instincts. Like if you're feeling off a little bit, get that checked. And depending on your situation, that may be as simple as talking to some friends or talking to your spouse about it. It may be more complex. You may need a medical professional or a clinical professional to help you get to the bottom of what's going on. The thing is, don't neglect it. Don't put it off.
Yeah, don't put it off. And don't just surrender to it and kind of fall victim to it, right?
First, don't let the narrative be, this is just how I am. I don't define yourself with that. Like, I'm just an insomniac, or I can't this, or I can't that. Because that does kind of turn you into the victim.
Yeah.
And we don't need to sit and wait for someone to rescue us. It's kind of up to us to take action and to figure out what's it going to take. God didn't design me this way. That's the first truth we got to buy into.
Right.
And then we got to figure out, well, if he didn't design me this way, I'm here for other reasons. And I need to take responsibility and get the help I need to figure out what that is.
So if there's a leader that's struggling, they need to take responsibility. They need to take action for themselves. What about the situation where there's a leader that you're not burning out, but you see somebody that you serve with, that you're close with, that you love? You can tell. They may not be able to see it, but you can see it a mile away. Like, how do we help people that are in that place? Because there's obviously a disconnect self-awareness wise.
Sure.
Like, how do we help somebody who doesn't either think they need help or maybe is even resisting the help?
Yeah. If you've been in it for a minute, you've seen this. And sometimes even when you're in it, when you're the one burning out, you notice it in others. And it kind of convinces you that it's not happening to me. But when you see it in somebody else, I think the most loving thing you can do is talk to them about it. And then if they won't hear it from you, don't give up. Find somebody, prayerfully consider who's the voice that they're going to listen to. Yeah. Is there somebody else in their life that is going to have that kind of influence? If they're on staff at a church, you got to go to the leadership, go to the board, like whatever. The stakes are so high and the consequences are so significant. And the worst case is you're wrong. And the board or the leaders, they get involved and they realize like, hey, this isn't burnout. Thank you for caring. That's the worst that happens.
Yeah.
But if you leave it unchecked, man, what the worst that can happen is really pretty terrible.
Yeah. When I was talking about when I tipped over and I fell and I crashed, I thought I just needed to sleep. I just needed to rest, like take a couple weeks off,
Makes sense.
I didn't start feeling, and so this is with rest and counseling, nutrition, medicine. Like it took me 18 months to start feeling somewhat normal again.
Yeah.
And then after I started feeling, I kind of got my feet under me, then my wife went through her 18 months because during my time, she was holding it together for the both of us.
Yeah.
And then when I finally got hold,
compounding with her.
Correct. And so, man, you think about like, do something now. Don't wait till it's too late because it won't just be a quick fix. It could be 18, 36 months. And you talk about like the impact, it can be devastating.
It's 3 years of your life.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The longer we wait, the worse it gets and the more difficult it is to recover.
Yep.
And somehow we convince ourselves that, well, it's not that bad.
Right.
And I'll just wait. It's okay. And all the while, it's not getting better on its own. It's just getting worse.
Yep. Well, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you sharing your story. And I know it's our heart to make sure that never happens to other leaders. We definitely don't want them to experience it. And so we appreciate you tuning in and joining us in this conversation. We pray that it was helpful. And this conversation is and obviously needs to continue because the burnout is always there in front of us. And so please continue this journey with us. We have episodes that drop every month. And so make sure you tune in and watch those. But also we want to make sure that you take advantage of a free resource that we have. We have a monthly check-in that's available. It's a monthly resource that's just focused on leader health. Keeping this conversation going, and it's free. All you have to do is go to our website at Thrive360.com. It's all words, no letters. Thrive360.com. You can sign up there and we'll get those resources to you. Between now and the next time we tune in and see each other, or you see us, and we keep this conversation going, we pray that you would be healthy and that you would continue to put in the work to honor God in all that you do. We'll see you next time. God bless.